Hey, Mama. Welcome to the Working Moms Playbook, the go-to podcast for moms balancing careers and babies. I'm your host, Antonia DePace, former editor, current marketing maven, and mom of one. Each week, we're breaking down the systems, mindsets, and support every working mom needs to thrive, whether it be at work, at home, or everywhere in between. So let's get into it. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Working Moms Playbook. I'm your host, Antonia DePace, and this week is a little bit different than weeks past. No guests this week, just me and you, but we are going to be going over my top 5 things that I used to survive the newborn stage. This idea has been inspired by the fact that my husband and I are expecting baby number 2 this January. So we're very excited. And with that, we are reflecting upon what baby items really saved us with John. And this is going to be more of the baby edition. Although I believe there's maybe 1 or 2 items in here for moms, but I do plan on doing a mom specific list here at one point, but this week is mainly focused on baby items. So if you are a first time mom, if you are expecting baby number 2 and wanted to do things a little bit differently, or you just wanted to get some more items because shopping is fun, then this episode is for you. Building a registry, I think, looking back onto it, was equally as fun as it was overwhelming. To give you a little bit of an idea of the type of mom that I am, I breastfed, so we used no formula. We did use bottles at one point when I wasn't around, but they weren't used immediately and they certainly weren't used frequently. And then we also did baby-led weaning. I cloth diapered unless we were out and about, and then we did disposables. So there were certain ways that we did cut costs, but there was just these items that no matter how expensive they were, I just can't wait to take them out of the box and use them again for baby number 2. So with that out of the way, let's get started with number 1, the Solly wrap. There are so many baby carriers in this world, whether they're cheap ones, expensive ones, great ones, horrible ones, and they all really do depend on what you're looking for. And honestly, also your body type. I learned this when I was looking, and some of them are better for short people. Some of them are better for taller people. We actually had 3 or 4 baby carriers that we rotated through during John's first year. But the very first one that we used and continued to use until he was probably about 6 or 7 months was the Solly wrap. So if you've seen it, you might have seen it a lot. You might have written it off. I don't know. But I'm telling you, you need to have it. It was key, key for us in the early days. Putting it on was super simple. Once you get the hang of it and you know how to do it, it's very easy. And John loved it. Loved it. It was great for contact naps. It was great for quality time together, just baby wearing in general, skin to skin, head support for newborns, since a lot of these baby carriers aren't as good for newborns, as well as naps outside of the house. So it was just, we used it wherever we were. It came with us. It stayed in the diaper bag. It came with us in the house. And whether I was doing the dishes or I was at a family birthday party and John needed to take a nap, it was with us. And if it wasn't with us, I quite literally was at a loss because we used it that much. The other added benefit here is that there's so many colors, so many patterns, and I think that just makes it more fun. And they're pretty timeless. And then the company also releases new ones. So yeah, I just love it. Can't say anything bad about it. The only thing that you should be aware of, and I think we should all have multiple baby carriers. I don't think any of us really can just have one, but this is not a permanent carrier. We had to stop around 6 or 7 months because John did get a little bit too heavy for it. I can't remember exactly what the weight requirements are on the website, but it just for me personally, it was kind of a lot on my back. We moved over to something that had a little bit more of a supportive base. I believe it was a baby Bjorn. But that's like the only thing. So if you're here and you're listening, your baby is like already in that 8-9 month range, maybe look onto something that's a bit more structured. But if you're anything smaller than that and you have a newborn or, you're still contact napping, this is like the best thing ever. I've recommended it to all of my mom friends when they ask. Moving on to number 2, the Brestfriend nursing pillow. My IBCLC recommended this. I thought, just like every other first time mom, like the Boppy was the go-to. And I am so glad she turned me in the direction of the Brestfriend nursing pillow. It's great for any mom or parent, regardless of your feeding goals. So if you were just thinking, I'm not going to breastfeed, I don't need this, I'm going to say that you're wrong. It is amazing for just general support. It actually Velcros around your waist, and you can make it like size adjust it based on your body and whether you're using it or your husband's using it. It just like makes feeding really a breeze. It puts them in that ideal position. It frees up some arm space, especially, of course, if you're breastfeeding. It is great because it puts the baby in a very ideal nursing position per my IBCLC. But I also found that in the beginning, it really helped me with core support when I was feeding or when I was just holding John. It just kind of like made me feel a little bit stronger and kind of reminded me to reactivate that area versus just like getting a sore back from moving around throughout the day. The funny thing is that my husband even liked to use it to support the baby when holding him. I mean, newborns are just so flimsy, and it's kind of nice just to have that extra security. And John was also very comfortable on it as well. We actually used it when my grandmother, so John's great grandmother, when she came to visit to meet the baby, because she was like 90 years old and had just gone through surgery, and she wanted to meet her great grandchild, and she was able to hold him with the help of this Brestfriend. So definitely put this one on your list. As a side note, we have stairs. So it was also great to use as extra support when bringing John downstairs in the morning as a newborn. It just kind of like added a little bit of security for me. Um, and it just like felt a little safer. Bonus, the cover is removable and washable. And it was actually pretty easy to put back on as well. So that's great. Number 3. So this is the one that is really not for baby, I guess. But of course, when our cups are filled, baby's cup is filled. So this one's more for mom and dad. We were lucky enough to have a village. Of course, not everybody is. And of course, that village can vary in means of support. But regardless, cooking food is just so hard when you're transitioning with any baby, whether it's your first or your second or your third. I'm actually very nervous about having to cook this second time around because I struggled with it so much when we had John. And now I can't just like supplement food with like smaller protein snacks. Like I have to make real meals because I have a toddler to feed. So it's a little bit scarier and a little bit more daunting. But for anyone, protein and nutrition is, of course, very key for recovery and also for breastfeeding. You are so hungry when you breastfeed. You don't even realize how hungry you are, but eating protein on a consistent basis, I found really helped not only with my mood, but with my hunger, the length of staying full, and then also like my supply. So this number 3 recommendation is really any healthy meal service, keyword healthy. We happened to use Factor for the first time around. I'm not sure if we would use them again, only because we have Kenny's meals right around the corner now, and they're fresh meals that you can like pick up in bulk. But we didn't have that the first time around, so we opted for Factor. They were pretty tasty. They were super high in protein. They were ready in 3 minutes. And if you didn't sign up like prior to hearing this, there are actually quite a few deals that you can get. You just have to like look around. If you ever like order from Grove Collaborative or order from any other subscriptions, oftentimes you'll get little pamphlets with codes for Factor, whether it's like first 20 meals for free or whatever it is. And you don't have to cook it aside from heating it up, which is awesome because as much as I love, love, love to cook, it's just not possible. And some friends might send you like meal services that give you the recipes and give you the ingredients. And I loved that. And it was so sweet and it's always so thoughtful. But like I almost felt guilty because I wasn't able to use all of them because they were like going bad faster than I could actually cook. So that's number 3, a healthy meal service, whether it is a frozen healthy meal with high protein, that comes in bulk. That's the key here. This is not something that you just like go pick up from the grocery store and happen to have 10 on hand. Like this is something that you actively have a bulk order for during these early stages, or something that's like fresh, like a Kenny's Meals. If you have no idea what Kenny's Meals is, look them up, see if they have a location in your area. Okay, moving on to number 4. And some people really might think that this one is a gimmick, and I'm here to tell you that it is not. At least it wasn't for me. Everybody finds a way to survive without it, but once you have it, I feel like you just don't know how to survive without it. I was really big on keeping tabs on feeding times and nap times, especially in the beginning when you have those pediatrician appointments and the pediatrician is consistently asking you how many poops, how many wet diapers, how many, naps, how many times did they feed? And the day is just such a blur in general. It's hard to remember all that unless you're writing it down somewhere. So this is where the Talli comes in. So that is TALLI. And it comes in kind of 2 parts, right? It's a actual machine, but then there's also a phone app that you can do. On the day-to-day, it was great to have the actual machine. But then like if we were out and about and didn't have the machine with us, we could just use it on our phone. But basically, it helps you to stay organized and on time for feedings and naps, and it'll also grow with you. So it's a button. It's like, it looks like a panel and there's buttons on it and the stickers are on the buttons. And there's like a bottle for feeding, a diaper for diaper changes, and one has like a 1 in front of it. And then there's like a diaper with a 2 so you can keep track. There's a nap, like Z's for a nap time. And basically like whenever I would breastfeed John, I would click the feeding one and it would time it. And then when I was done, I would just click it again and it would end the feeding time. And I wouldn't have to worry about it. Same thing with diapers, like change his diaper, quick click if he peed, quick click if he pooped, quick click at the start of nap, quick click at the end of nap. And it really allowed me to kind of go back and see what was going on. But it also reduced John's crying time, I personally feel, a ton because he was never too hungry or too tired. I mean, honestly, like sometimes he would start to cry and I'd be like, what's going on? And I'd look at the app. Oh, in my head first, I'd be like, well, he's not hungry. He's not tired. And then I'd look at the app and I would say, oh, actually, like he started feeding 2 hours ago. Like he actually probably is hungry. So it kind of helped me to pinpoint things a little bit faster and have that reference point, which I found really, really, really helpful. It also comes with extra stickers, so you can customize it accordingly. And then it can also grow with the baby. And it was also really good for caregivers. So whenever we had my mom or my mother-in-law or the nanny, whoever it was, like they could click those buttons. And then that way in the beginning when everything like needs to be tracked so that your kid can actually stay like healthy and gain their, get back to their birth weight and make sure that everything's going on okay since they can't really communicate with you. Like this helped us to stay on track because I could go home and I could say, okay, the last bottle of milk that he got was at X time. So now I can breastfeed him at this time. And his last diaper change was at this time. So obviously things, maybe I look back and I'm like, oh, he didn't poop today. Or, oh, he didn't have like a lot of wet diapers today, and kind of figure out what was going on. It was also great when he was sick because I could pay attention to the wet diapers without actually having to pay attention to it when you're so worried about all these other elements going on at the same time. Last but not least, and of course, this is not the only must-have item, but it's just like the 5th item that I kind of thought about that I'm excited to take out of the box, the Love Every Play Gym. This has had a few iterations since I had John, but I did just buy it for my cousin because it was like the gift that kept on giving. It was so great for so many stages of John's developmental growth. It also came with like a little flip book to give me a better idea of what to expect developmentally during these different changes and stages and like age, and also how I could help to support that, which I just found very great and insightful. We actually just put it away a few months ago. And it wasn't because there was a lack of benefit. It was just like more so because he was getting tired of it and it was time for a toy refresh. But I mean, that was with him through tummy time, when he was on his back learning how to grab items, when he was having sensory play. There's like little crunchy things on there. And then at one point it turns into like a little tent that they can just like be in and have like a little clubhouse, which I thought was really cute. So if you are big on items that continue to grow with your family, because I know there's a lot of play gyms out there technically of different price ranges and different patterns and colors and themes. But if you are big on items that continue to grow with you and your family, this is one of them for sure that you should be looking into. So that was the fifth item, you guys. I could go through my entire baby registry probably and like rate items from 0 to 10 on how much I use them, how much I love them, so on and so forth. Maybe I'll do that at one point. I don't know. Let me know if you want that. But I would love to hear your thoughts on any of these products if you've used them, or if you think I'm missing any that you think you want other moms to know about and that they need to be on this list. Definitely comment below and let me know that as well, because I also want to know if there's anything that I'm missing. If you are interested in finding the exact items that I mentioned today, you can visit the show notes for links. I will have them directly there. And as always, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of the Working Moms Playbook. Keep an eye out for next Wednesday's release. We will have another expert on board, and I can't wait to see you then. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this episode of the Working Moms Playbook. And also, thank you so much for sharing this episode with any and every working mom who might benefit. Also, thank you for subscribing. It means so much to be able to continue to grow this village of working moms in a world where our villages can feel fairly small. Keep an eye out for next week's episode, always debuting on a Wednesday, and I can't wait to see you there.